Alright guys, happy Friday and happy days for Bitcoin over here as we are launching out of the range after backtesting this point of control. Are we going to get this final low to grab the CME gap, or is this it and we're just going to head on up to all-time highs now? And at this point I would say we're probably not filling the CME gap. I think at this point, unless we were to get some sort of massive swing failure, right, we could get that because we are in a liquidity zone. We do have big sellers at this level. You can see over here in the order books, thousands of Bitcoin being placed into short orders just above current price. I do think there is a chance for a big rejection here, but overall with what the S&P is doing, right, we see S&P going for all-time highs once again. I think if this is going to break out to all-time highs, which I think is pretty likely here in the coming weeks, that Bitcoin is not going to have the chance to pull back to fill the CME gap, right? That's this gray box that I have in the chart down here. Chicago Mercantile Exchange is closed during the weekends, but the TradFi element of Bitcoin is much less volume, so these don't always have to get filled. They just normally do. But even though these do fill over 90% of the time, a lot of the times it doesn't fill for multiple weeks or even months after they are created. So what this could be a warning sign of is we're saving this for later. We're going to head on up to all-time highs, and then that could be another confluence to say when we get to all-time highs, be very cautious of euphoria in the markets, be very cautious if meme coins are running, be very cautious if everybody thinks the Fed cut is bullish, and we're going to continue up into 2025 like a normal 4-year cycle. I'm not saying that's not possible, but I've been saying on this channel, due to unemployment rate, due to the inverted yield curve, a recession is coming sooner rather than later. And while I don't think the top is already in, I do think the top will probably be in 2024, if not very early in 2025. So if we leave the CME gap behind, I think it's just another warning sign to say when we do get into this liquidity up at all-time highs, that's where the top's going to come in. Will it happen like this? No, probably not. It'll probably be a deviation play, so we'll probably get distribution, deviation, and then fail back within the range. And this will trap everyone anticipating for $100,000 plus, even maybe $80,000 plus. I think there's a good chance we might top out at like $79,000. But given price predictions is kind of a fool's errand, you're never going to be able to predict the future. So we just have to wait to see how price action does play out. We know there's a lot of liquidity up there. So if they short squeeze into all-time highs and then everybody starts long in the top, that's normally topping order flow. If we see just longs continuing to bullishly buy up price as we get up there, and then as we squeeze all those shorts, open interest is still pretty flat because we're opening positions as the shorts are closing out and everybody's just bullishly sending up price, then yeah, we could go up to, multiple $100,000. I'm not ruling that out of the equation at all. And as we look at order flow right now, we do see it's a lot of bullish continuation. You don't see a big short squeeze here and then a lot of longs FOMOing up on top. No, it's actually quite the opposite. We see open interest continuing up throughout here, and even a lot of shorts were opened within this range here. And then we see as we get up to the highs that open interest is decreasing. So a lot of longs are just closing out, right? So this is healthy, bullish continuation from the longs, and then longs taking profit. We see this on Binance and Bybit's order flow. But as always, don't be FOMOing into price right now, especially on leverage. We do have single prints to the downside. We got those big sellers I was talking about. And then we also got the potential to go down lower. We have the Fed rate cut happening soon. I think if it's anything like the last Fed rate cut, we had a rally up into it. It was a big sell in the news event, and then we hunted new lower lows on Bitcoin. This is also something you want to think about potentially coming up to sweep these highs back here for the Fed rate cut, something like that, and then we pull all the way down, sweep the lows, go to 47, and then we head on up. Something like this is definitely possible, or we could just enter the bear market there because Fed rate cuts normally do mark tops in the market. Does that change my base case? No, I'm just giving you different scenarios because anything is possible on the chart. But so far, this is pretty awesome to see for a low being in structurally on the local term time frames. I had been saying these do look very clean, and that could be it. I just thought, maybe CME gap gets filled because that's what you want to do for a healthy move up. But because this is the final, most parabolic move, in my opinion, for Bitcoin, where it does send straight back up to all-time highs, it doesn't have to be a healthy move because when the final top comes in, we'll go ahead and retrace all of these levels later on. But yeah, speaking of levels, we're above this entire low end range here. This is the value area high sitting at 58,600. So I would expect if we do pull back here, probably going to be back testing that as support. And then if we can just get above 62,200, that's the big level to watch. Can we get above this value area low? If we can get above this and flip it into support, then you're probably looking at all-time highs after that. maybe even flipping this into support, right? We want to flip these higher value area lows into support to signal we're going all the way up to all-time highs, because like I was saying, we could come up, grab liquidity behind these highs over here, then fail below value area low, come all the way down before, heading on up or potentially, heading lower. So I'd say 64,600 we want flipped into support, not just breached, but actually held as support for us to know that the low is in. Right now, I would say the low is just probably in because of how much price has moved up away from it, and the bullish structure is forming with the bullish order flow. I think there's a good chance we're just not going to test this again, and we're set to head up to, once again, all-time highs. And when we go to all-time highs, you're going to see a lot of euphoria, and you're going to see altcoins going crazy. We see the altcoin market structurally looking very, very nice right now. I know it's underperforming Bitcoin today. We'll see if these highs do continue the trend lower down, right? We would expect to find resistance right where we are on the Bitcoin dominance. But overall, even with Bitcoin dominance coming up, you're seeing a lot of altcoins outperforming Bitcoin. Still a lot of stuff out there printing double-digit gains. And looking at the daily time frame, we're above the daily EMA here on total 3, so that's a nice thing to see. Let's see if we can now get above top channel trend and the big volume level at 620 billion. I think if we can start flipping this into support, then yes, you're going to signal all-time highs once again on the altcoin market. The question is it just going to be a swing failure of the highs? Is it just going to be a retracement into these value area highs of the previous bull market? Or is this going to be a complete price discovery move where we have an altcoin season fractal, something similar to 2020, and only time will tell, but I'm going to be more conservative just because of the Fed monetary policy, the amount of money retail has right now. I think even if big money is buying up Bitcoin because there are catalysts to do so, such as a reserve asset, I think altcoins, while they'll still probably outperform Bitcoin, they're going to lag a little bit compared to 2020 because retail doesn't have as much money. But yeah, still extremely bullish over here on total 3 on the altcoin market in general, and a lot of that is due to what the Russell is doing over here. We talked about this big buying tail at the lows, and now we are back above value area low of the previous bull market cycle. We talked about once we get back up into this range, that's where altcoins can start to fly because that's the price on the Russell they flew in 2020. So now let's see if we can actually accept this range, not just fail it, right? We don't want to just turn this into a wick and then reject and come back down. No, we need to actually accept the range, but assuming we can come up, potentially flip that into support and go into a price discovery on the Russell, I think that is going to be a massive catalyst for alts going crazy because, of course, the Russell 2K is more risk on assets in the stock market, so it's more correlated with the altcoin market because all assets are correlated together. Even gold seems to be correlated right now. We see gold printing another very bullish day to day, so it's an all asset run at the moment as the dollar continues to weaken, having another red day at the lows of this macro range. So yeah, real exciting times ahead of us. Get ready for a lot of euphoria in the market. Stay vigilant out there. Understand what the Fed rate cut means. It means they're stimulating the economy because the economy is broken. So if it's broken, the market's going to start pricing in whatever is broken sooner rather than later. But I think there is a big catalyst to send markets at least through election season and for us to make some really good gains here in the market. But if you have any questions about anything I talked about or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also have a VIP Discord that's not a signals group or anything like that. I'm just trying to provide value for leveraged trading because people had asked for it, and it is a work in progress right now, so it is 25% off. If you want, there's more information when you click on the link to decide for yourself if it's worth the money or not. Also below those links are all of my exchange partners, all offering their own perks and benefits and exclusive rewards and bonuses to those of you that used my referral link to sign up. So don't miss out on that. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.